Merle Haggard discography. So, what do we have here? Of course, we're on Wikipedia. It includes 66 studio albums, 5 instrumental albums featuring his backing band, The Strangers. Gotta know a little bit about The Strangers. Let's see. The Strangers were an American country band that formed in 1966 in Bakersfield, California. They mainly served as the backup band for singer-songwriter Merle Haggard, who named them after his first hit single, Only Here. How many of you knew that? Tell the truth, Scorpion Taz. Did you know that? So he named the band after his first hit single. My friends are gonna be strangers. Haggard recorded for a variety of major and independent record labels through the years, with significant years spent with Capitol Records, where he lived for over a decade, 10 years at Capitol Records. He was with MCA, Epic Records, and Curb Records. He also had his own label, appropriately named Haggard Records. Let's take a look at some of these albums. So Strangers in 1965 got all the way to number 9 on the country charts. I was on Capitol. Just between the two of us, Bonnie Owens and the Strangers. Born Bonnie Campbell in 1929, was married to Buck Owens and later to Merle Haggard. Swinging Doors and The Bottle Let Me Down, October 66. I'm a Lonesome Fugitive, 1967. Branded Man, Threw Away the Rose with the Strangers. That sounds interesting. Sing Me Back Home. That got all the way to number 1. So we got to click on that. So the album's title track was inspired by an inmate Haggard knew while he was serving time in San Quentin named Jimmy Rabbit Kendrick. This is indeed a rabbit hole. Sing Me Back Home got to number 1. The Legend of Bonnie and Clyde got all the way to number 6. That was released in 1968. Mama Tried, September of 1968 on Capitol. Mama Tried with The Strangers. The 7th studio album by Merle Haggard and The Strangers. Released on Capitol in 68, it reached number 4 on Billboard's Country Albums chart. The title song was one of Haggard's biggest hit singles, I'd say it was. Pride in What I Am, February 10th of 1969. Same Train, A Different Time. Merle Haggard sings the great songs of Jimmie Rodgers. Hold up, wait a minute. What? I've had a ton of requests for Jimmie Rodgers. I know he was a founding father. Wow, so the whole train connection thing. Same train, different time. Merle Haggard sings the great songs of Jimmie Rodgers. Also got to number 1. 9th studio album, released in 69, featuring covers of songs by the legendary country music songwriter Jimmie Rodgers. It was originally released as a 2 LP set on Capitol. After producing a string of albums and number 1 chart hits, Merle decided to record a tribute album to Jimmie Rodgers, who, along with Lefty Frizzell, I know who he is, The Veil, I think that was the name of the song, Black Veil, and Bob Wills, was one of his favorite artists. Haggard had already recorded a couple of Rodgers songs, having included the Blue Yodelers' Rough and Rowdy Ways on his 1967 LP, I'm a Lonesome Fugitive, while the same version of California Blues on this album had been featured on Pride in What I Am 3 months earlier. Same Train, a Different Time includes several spoken word introductions by Haggard, where he talks about the life and songs of the legendary country singer. This has got to be the one, right? Merle Haggard sings Jimmy Rogers? How many of you knew that? Only here, PJ Live. It's just sounding like that has to be the album, man.